Welcome. I'm here in my UK garden to give a little tour of one side just to show some of the plants that I've been growing out here. Now at the back I've got there my Musa Basjoo, and that will have to be trimmed in readiness for winter. I've got here also Yacon, and that's growing out of a pot in the garden. In the back there, in containers, I've got citrus fruits. So I've got an orange to the very left. Here I've got a Meyer lemon, and down there I've got Satsuma. And at the back I've got brown turkey fig. Here I've got Chayote growing on its vine. It's stopped fruiting and the vines are now drying up. And here I've got my Tamarillos, big leaf Tamarillos, and quite a lot of fruits on them, but these fruits will not ripen for now, so I'll have to cut back all the leaves and take the plant into my conservatory for overwintering and hopefully for ripening of some of those fruits. Down here I've got strawberry guavas. I've got yellow and I've got red strawberry guavas, and they are pushing out flower buds. Flower buds that are unlikely to develop because of the winter, of the oncoming winter rather, and I'll have to trim or prune these in order to take them indoors for overwintering. I've got pigeon peas here, or Gungo peas, that are now drying up, and I've got some pods down there, some beans that dry up, and hopefully I'll get some seeds for planting next year. This is the first year of planting this dwarf Gungo, so I'm hoping for some progress next year. Here I've just acquired this Daphne pink fragrance plant. It smells divine, so I'm hoping that comes the spring this will sprout up and flower and give me some nice fragrance in the garden. And at the back here I've got some grapes vines, and that was given to me, or some pieces was given to me by a friend from an allotment, and I was able to root it, and this is now springing up. So I'm expecting this thing to really take off next year. I've got my Calamondin orange here, and that's planted in the ground, and it's just pushing out a lot of flower buds. Again, because of the cold, I think a lot of these flower buds will actually fall off, but there are some fruits down there that I'm hoping will carry through over the winter. Next, I've got out here Opuntia, Hamifusa cacti, I've had this out here now growing without any protection whatsoever for the last 3 years, but it's been a magnet for slugs and snails, and I've had to protect the pot. It's grown out of a container to stop them devouring the whole of the plant. And down there I've got Chilean guava. The birds have not been able to get at them as yet, and they are now fully ready to harvest. So I'll be doing that before the end of next week. Next, I've got here some jujubes. So I've got lang and lilly, and they are now shedding the leaves and going into dormancy. Both of them flowered like nobody's business earlier in the year, but only the lang here has produced any fruits, and I was able to see a couple of fruits on this. I went away on holiday and came back, and one of them has fallen off. So if you see there, I've got one small jujube on this lang plant. So I'll get a taste of jujube for the first time of growing it in my garden. Let's have a look, a better look. And there you go, up there. And it's turning brown at the back, suggesting that it's right. So down here I've got citrus that was used as rootstock for one of the cyans that died on me last year. I think it was Nagami kumquat, and I think this rootstock is Volkamer lemon, and this is growing quite nicely, and I'll be leaving it out here without any protection whatsoever, and hope that it will maybe flower so that I can see what the fruit is like next year. And below here I have a Mexicola avocado. This was given to me by Joe, and I tried to graft a bacon avocado onto this, but it failed. But then a side shoot of the Mexicola started to grow. So I'm going to leave this, and I will overwinter it in my greenhouse. And next to that, I've got my favorite flowers growing out here. I've got some Bougainvilleas, okay, and they virtually have now grown so high that they could form an arch out here in the garden. these won't survive winter, so I'll be pruning these and taking them indoors for them to live in my porch or in the conservatory over winter. I've had these now for I think it's 2 years, and I just love this plant, and having it growing out in my garden gives such a tropical feel. It's unbelievable. Now next to it I've got a Satsuma. It's an Unshiu Satsuma, and it's got a lot of fruits on there that's ripened up, and it has also got small fruits hidden in the canopy. There's one down there that's green, and that's destined for next year. They've got more. On here I'm doing an experiment. So I've got 3 plants that I acquired from Jurassic Plants. I've got the Lilly Pilly, I've got the red strawberry guava, and over here I've got Surinam cherry. Now these have grown really well over the years. It's all in one pot. All 3 plants are planted in one pot, and I'll be overwintering it out here. I'm going to be using one of my citrus grow tents and fitted with lights or small tubular greenhouse heaters. It will be temperature controlled, so that if the temperature goes below 4 degrees centigrade, it will switch on the heating, or if it goes above 5 degrees centigrade, it will switch the heating off. So this is an ongoing experiment. And at the back here I've got my Kucle kumquat, and that's filled with fruits that I think I'm going to pick off before I put this into my small orangery that's seen here. I've got here my kumquat. It's a Nagami kumquat, and this is doing nicely, sending out new growth and training the branches that come out to grow in a more bushy and compact form. And up here I've got my ugly fruit. I bought that last year. It flowered this year but did not hold any of the fruits. And this year I'm going to be overwintering it out here in the garden with the use of one of my citrus grow tents. It's growing in a container, and I'm very hopeful for this plant. And down here I've got my lemon tree. I bought this out of Aldi, and it's got a lot of fruits on it, ripening all over the place. It's also got young fruits on it, and it's sending out new growth. So very pleased with this plant. Again, this will be overwintered out here, and I will have to trim it down a little bit in order to fit it in one of my grow tents, but possibly in a year or two I'll be leaving it to grow out here with no protection whatsoever. And up the top there is my Jenny kiwi, and this thing is just filled with kiwis. The leaves have started to fall off, and so have some of the fruits. So most times I come out here, I find fruits on the ground. And along here I've got my Australian finger lime over there. That's doing quite well, loves it in this secluded position, and that will be overwintered out here without any protection. I will just throw a fleece covering over this if I get any real bad snow. And here I've got my cinnamon yam vine, and that's now drying up, but as you can see there are lots of air tubers on this, and from each of these I can get new plants. As it goes into dormancy, the leaves turn to this from green to this wonderful golden color. I've got more cinnamon yam there that's drying up, so if I wanted to, I could harvest the tubers down there, but I guess I'll probably just leave them to sprout up again next year. I've got growing here lantana, and I've got one of my favorites out here is this Bougainvillea gold. It's a huge plant. I should have taken cuttings of this, but I just didn't have the time. But I will be pruning it for overwintering indoors in my porch. And up here I've got my Madeira vine. Now the leaves of this plant can be eaten, and it also grows underground tubers. And it's in a container down there. I've got another Bougainvillea, it's a pink one, that's growing from a pot up along the wall, and this one, I think it's in a really shaded area, protected from the elements. So I will be leaving this one outside this year. I'll just cover the pot and hope for it to spring back next year. This is getting to be a long video, so I'm not going to go much further. I've got here growing Awori Satsuma, and that's loaded with fruits, as you can see here. And at the same time it's pushing out new growth. I've got here the yuzu, a nice fruit there. I thought this yuzu was on a Punsaris rootstock, but I've found it isn't, because it's now pushing out these leaves from the rootstock, and these leaves neither resembles the Punsaris trifoliata leaves, nor does it resemble the leaves of the yuzu. So once again I've been diddled by the supplier.